All right, so I'm going to attempt to do Swiss chard on my own today. Canning it out to Cindy here. So to those people that actually can on their own, more power to you, because there is a lot that goes into it. It's not just throwing a bunch of stuff in a jar and whatever. There's a lot that goes into it, and if you follow me through step by step on this right here, you'll see exactly what I go through. I probably do too much, but what else have I got to do? Okay, so Swiss chard, they say let your leaves get anywhere between 6 to 12 inches. This row right here, actually all three of these rows are ready to go. The smaller the leaf, the better the taste is going to be. And they also say that you want to cut just from the outside and leave the center leaves to keep growing. But when we did this last year, we actually took the whole plant. We cut about 2 inches up, 1.5 to 2 inches up off the ground, and took all the leaves, and they all grew back again to give us another run. So if these all grow back again, we're going to have plenty of Swiss chard for next year. So I've got my bucket, or my basket, and I've got my cutting utensils here. So we're going to go through little by little on what we do here. So we're going to cut it about 1 to 2 inches above the ground. Throw it down in your little bucket here. Now obviously, I'm getting some grass in there. That's perfectly fine, because when I go over to get ready to clean it, my first cleaning of it, I will pick the grass out. And then this will go inside. I'll do my first initial cleaning outside in our outside sink, and then do another cleaning on the inside, in my kitchen sink. I do it on my outside sink because I don't want all the dirt and stuff going down my drain inside the house. If you have an outside sink, it's awesome. So what I did was, I'll show you my outside sink and explain it to you a little bit more when I get over there. But for right now, I'm going to finish taking out this row, and I'll take you over to the sink, and we'll show you what we're doing over there. Okay, so out of all that, I got 3 bushel baskets of chard. Now, obviously, there's some grass in here. I got to do some picking. I got to get some grass out. But I did. I got 3 bushels, or 3 baskets full. So this over here is the sink. This was downstairs in our basement. They was using it for a laundry sink a long time ago, and we didn't need it down there, so we took it out. And then I was like, well, let's put it outside, use it for a basin outside. Now we can actually wash our vegetables before we take them in, so we're not running all the dirt down the sink. So what I got is I got a 5-gallon bucket. This is what I'm going to carry them in the house with. After I get done washing them, I don't want to put it back in my basket because it'll ruin my basket. But basically all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put them in here, and I'm going to put them in the sink. I'm grabbing a handful of it, throw it down the sink, and we'll turn the water on. You see that water feels good and ready because it is hot out here. And you want to wash these off. You want to wash these off because, like my land here, I got a lot of sand. So I want to get that sand washed off before I take it in the house and soak it in my sink. But this is also where you want to wash it. You want to get rid of your all your grass that's in there and mixed in with it the whole bit. So it's a little funny story I'll tell you. I just called my wife and let her know and took a picture of it. So I brought my shop vac out here so I could clean out the sinks, because we get some leaves down here from blowing off the trees. I want to clean out the sinks. So I got ready to plug it in back here. And lo and behold, I opened it up, and a little frog was sitting on top of the damn outlet and scared the shit out of me. So that's kind of a nice little thing to just throw in there, kind of funny. But anyway, I'm going to get all this washed up. I'm going to get all this put in here. I'll get everything put down in my 5-gallon bucket. Once I get that done, getting all the ants off of it, all the dirt off of it, all the other bugs off of it, I'll take it all inside. I'll fill up one side of my sink, and I'll dump all of it in one side of my sink, and I'll put it in my sink and just let it soak for a few while I get everything else ready. You got to boil this for 20 minutes. I'll explain all that after we go back inside. But so today we've got the chard out of the garden. I've got the chard up on the table. We're ready to start getting all of it clean, get the grass and everything separated from it. Once I get that done, we'll head back in and take it over from there. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break from washing these. Kind of gets to your back a little bit. So this sink, like I said, it came up out of our basement. It was a wash basin or a wash sink that they had down there for their laundry. So you can kind of tell how old it is. It's put up by Sears, and but I'll tell you what, it's sturdy. I mean, it's solid. I put it up on some legs to get it up a little bit higher. Ran a garden hose over to it. See if I can get you down here to where you can see this. So I just ran a garden hose up into there to where I could run it up into the faucet. Had to kind of do my own rigging on that. And then I just ran PVC pipe out. And I've got the PVC pipe actually running over there to the other side of my bush and draining out on the ground. It's just gray water, so I ain't worried about it. It ain't gonna hurt anything. But it worked out pretty good. I was actually shopping around because me and Cindy had talked about it, and we said that, you know, hey, we'd like to get an outside sink to clean our vegetables and stuff up with before we take them inside the house, so we don't run dirt and stuff down the sink. So here I am. I'm looking up Lowe's and Amazon and Menards and looking up all these places, and I got thinking about it. I'm like, duh, you dumbass. Got one downstairs we ain't using. Why don't we just bring it upstairs and use it? So I went down there, disconnected all piping and everything, ripped all the piping out and stuff, and brought it upstairs, and here we are. So this is what we've got now, and it works out real good. Like I said, it's really solid. It's well made. It's pretty old, but it's extremely well made. So that's just a little bit about our sink and what we do out here, and this is how we clean our vegetables up before we take them in the house, so we're not getting everything down the drains there in the house. All right, well, I'm going to get back to work. Okay, so been outside burning since 5 o'clock this morning. We actually about the best time to burn when you're here in Indiana, because any other time we got wind out the wazoo. So been outside burning since about 5 o'clock this morning. After I got done burning for about 2.5 hours, wind started picking up, so that's when I started doing the chard. And now that I'm done cutting the chard outside, I had to get me a shower. Now I'm ready to start inside. So we're gonna take a little walk about what we've got and what we're actually using for today. First of all, since Cindy's not here, I've got my helpers in here. There's Baxter, and over here, this little fuzzy thing, that's Bailey. Bailey. Okay, he's sleeping. He don't want nothing to do with Dad right now. Then I got my older baby out here. There's Charlie. So there's my 3 helpers for today. All right, hope Bailey turn around. There he is. Okay, anyway, so I've got my All-American canner. It'll hold 14 quart, and that's what we normally do is quarts. It'll hold 14 quart. I've actually got 2 of these. We use 2 of them during bean season because we have an abundance of green beans and stuff that we do, so it comes in handy to have 2 of them so you can actually get them all done at once. So always remember, you always check your wiggler spot where your wiggler sets. Make sure it's open. Make sure it can vent. That's your vent for the canner. Then you got your pressure gauge over here. And of course, you have to lube the ring. This is a non-gasket rubber gasket, so it's just an aluminum gasket seat. So anyway, make sure you read your instructions on how to do that. These will press your can for 90 minutes. So once we get it going, I'll show you how I do all of it. Everybody might do it different. I don't know. It's just the way I do it. Not saying it's wrong, not saying it's right. So I've got me a pot here. This is what I'm going to boil it in. I have to boil my chard for 2 minutes before I start canning. So what I'll do is I'll stick some in there. I'll get it up. I'll get everything up to boiling. I'll put some in there. I'll put it on my timer. I'll go ahead and run it for 2 minutes. I'll go ahead and can what I can get done with what I've got in there, and then I'll put more in there, and I'll just repeat the process until I run out of chard or get my canner full, one or the other. So I always keep me a extra water right here on hand, just in case I need it for anything. Because I do start warming up my canner, and if my canner goes below my line, I've got a line in there to about 3 inches. If my canner goes below my line, I do want to add a little bit of water to it. You don't ever want to run out of water in your canner. You don't want to overdo it, but you don't want to run out. So I've already got my bottom plate in my canner, and this is for the second rack. So I use this right here. This right here is what I scoop out the water with, because after I get done putting the chard in the canner, I will top it off to 1 inch headspace with the water. So what I'll do is I'll have boiling water in a pan, and I will take it. I will not use what I'm boiling my chard in. I will use actually fresh boiled water for that. I've still got to get that pan out so I can get it filled up and get ready to start getting it hot. But anyway, so I guess I could. I don't know. I guess I could use the water that's in there. Yeah, I guess I will. I'll just go ahead and use the water that's in there, because it ain't gonna hurt anything. It's gonna be clean anyway. So anyway, this is what I'm going to use to put my water in the cans to fill them up to 1 inch headspace. This is my funnel. It's big enough for a wide mouth. It's suited for a wide mouth. I have my canning salt. A lot of people don't say you have to use it. Some people say you have to use it. I use it. Me and my wife use it. It's just like a religion. We do it. It doesn't add taste or anything. It doesn't preserve. It does add taste. A little bit of taste. It doesn't preserve anything. It's just we're just adding it because that's what we've always done for a little bit of taste. And then of course you'll add stuff after you get done cooking it anyway. So this is my Vaseline and my little tip that I use. That's what I use to go around the rim of my canner to put the Vaseline on there. You always want to have your seal lubed on this. Some people use oil. I use Vaseline. Either one of them works. But you always want to have it lubed, because if not, it could actually pressure lock and get a vapor lock on it, and you won't get the lid off. So make sure you lube the lid itself and the beveled part on the canner itself. So vinegar, spray bottle of vinegar. This is for the jars. So after I get done putting the chard in there and everything, I can wipe it clean with a rag and make sure that I don't have any debris or anything on the jar lip itself. I also add a little bit of vinegar down inside my water. It just kind of helps keep a stain off the jar, and it does help. So I've tried it with and without, and I like it with. So here's my jar picker upper. This is my scoop I'm going to use to actually take the chard out of the pot. That way you can drain. I can put it in the jar. When you do this, you do not pack the jar, so you don't cram it as much as you can get in there. You put it in and you just daintily pack it. I'll show you how I do it, but you do not like forcefully pack it. That way you can get water in it and everything will press your can correctly. These are tongs. Tongs I got out. That way if I decided instead of using the scooper, I could actually use tongs to grab my chard, which I probably will use a scooper. I don't know if I'm going to use the tongs or not. I just got them out just in case. So this is a little chopstick. That's one thing that we found that we really like to debubble with. You always want to debubble. That's just one thing that we found that we've always liked. You can get the debubble sticks. You can use them. That's perfectly fine. You can use whatever you want. I really like using a chopstick because it's small and you can actually get it down in there and actually get them air pockets worked out. Here's a magnet that we have. Now a lot of this stuff you can just buy at Amazon. So, you know, you know the deal. Amazon carries everything. But anyway, there's a little magnet right there, and I use it to get the lids out of the hot water when I get ready to put it in, because we actually do still soak our tops. Some people say you don't have to. Some people say you do. We do. They say you don't have to anymore because of the way they do the lids. We do because that's just the way we do it, guys. You can do it however you want to. It's perfectly fine. Not saying it's wrong, not saying it's right. So there's my wiggler. My wiggler is set on 10 pounds for our area that we live in. It's set on 10 pounds. So we will actually, I noticed the canter usually goes up to about 11 and then it starts rattling and jiggling. So you keep it within that area right there and let it rattle and jiggle and you'll be doing perfect. We'll always make sure that you know what you have to have for your wiggler, for your area where you live at. Okay, so I've got this out. That right there is what I'm going to use to strain. So once I take it from the sink into the strainer, from the strainer into the pot. And then from the pot, it's going to go directly into the jar. So either that or I actually could just take it out of the pot, put it in the strainer, and then take it from the strainer to the jar. It doesn't matter. I think I'm just going to do it from pot. I don't know. My wife would probably be yelling at me right now because she'd be telling me how she's going to do it. So since she ain't here, I'm going to get away doing it my way. That's just my tripod. I'm going to try to set it up. Guys, I'm not a professional at this, so please bear with me on the video. Okay, so I ended up with 2 sinkfuls of chard. Don't know how much this is going to get me, but I ended up with 2 sinkfuls, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from the sink. It's rinsing. It's soaking in water right now. It's like a second rinse. I'm going to take it from the sink, and I'm going to go from the sink onto my cutting board. So I've got a tin down here, and I've got a cutting board. That way I can actually cut the chard up, and you always want to cut it up. You can either cut it, I guess, or technically, I guess you could rip it up. You don't have to cut it. I just like to grab a bunch of it, grab a nice knife, and cut it, and be done with it. Here's all my jars. I've got 14 jars up here, so I'm not sure how many quart I'm going to get. I'm really hoping I get 14 full quart. If I do not get 14 full quart and say I get 12, I'm still going to use 2 extra jars and fill them full of water and cap them just like I would if I was going to can it. Reason being is because with your canner going under pressure, those jars can move around. You don't ever want to leave empty space inside your canner. Like in my canner, I can do 7 on bottom, 7 on second row, 7 on first row, 7 on second row. If I can get 7, that's fine. I don't have to have any empty jars or any water jars in there. But say if I get 12, I got 7 on bottom and I got, what, 5 on top, I definitely want to have those 2 extra jars in there. And what we do is we just go ahead and can them, and we put lids on them and do the whole thing. We just run it like we normally do. And what I do there is we use ball. That's just what we've always used. It's what we always will use. We've tried other ones, not satisfied or happy with them. But what I did was I went on Amazon and I bought some cheaper lids that, you know, if they don't seal, I don't really care because there's going to be nothing but water in there. So not that big of a deal. If they come out and they don't pop and they don't seal, I don't care because it's going to be dumped anyway. So what I'll do is I'll save my 2 ball lids and then I will use the aftermarkets. Okay, so let's see what else we got. Okay, so over here we've got a table set up. Actually, this one towel over here with the jars on it, I'm going to use it to actually cover because I use 2 towels to cover. Here's my other towel to cover. Not everybody does this, so I'm just saying this is the way we do it. So I got a towel laying on out here. We put a board on top of this table, kind of helps dissipate the heat from the table. I put a towel down. We'll put the jars, when the jars are done and they're ready to come out, I'll put them on this towel. And then what I'll do is I'll take 2 towels and I'll cover them, and they will be covered for 48 hours. Or sorry, 24 hours. 24 hours, all the lids should be popped, everything should be sealed and ready to come out. Now, it's probably still going to be a little warm, which is perfectly fine. Probably still going to be a little warm, but we let them cool. Once they cool all the way down, we'll take our outer rings off and then we'll put them on our storage shelf. So not everybody covers their jars. Some people just leave them uncovered, which is, like I said, perfectly fine. However you want to do it, whatever works for you. That's fine with me. If I don't do it the way my wife tells me to do it, I usually get yelled at. All right, so she's going to kill me because she ain't here to defend herself. So anyway, so this pan right here. So the pan I'm doing the chard in over on the stove, and is a that is a water bath pan. It's one of the water bath pans I bought my wife. This pan is a water bath pan, but this is our older one. So what I'm going to do with it is I've got water in it. It's just warm water. And once I get done cutting up my chard, I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it over in that pan till I get ready to put it on the stove. Reason being is because even though I ran my jars through the dishwasher this morning, my jars are cooled down now. You don't want to put hot stuff in a cold jar and then put a cold jar down inside of a hot cooker. So what I'm going to do is I'll fill up the sink with hot water and I'll set the jars down in there, and the jars will re-warm when I get ready to can. So I'm going to get ready to set this up on the tripod. I'm going to take a quick break, see everybody set this up on the tripod, and then I'm going to get ready to start pulling the chard out and dicing it up. Okay, so I'm ready to start chopping all this up. This is going to be a long, lengthy process, but kind of show you what I'm doing here. Like I said, everybody may do it different. It's perfectly fine. You can do it however you want to. I don't know if you can do it in a automatic slicer or not. I'm sure you probably can. But so what I'm doing is I'm just taking it and I'm just kind of cutting it up a little bit, getting the leaves cut up, cutting the stems up, and yes, we do keep all the stems and everything. Keep everything together. It's not just the leaves that we eat. The stems are actually really good. Now, this is why I like to take my chard young at a smaller, when it's smaller, because when it is smaller, you don't have to worry about the stems being hard or stringy. Okay, so they can get that way, just like green beans get stringy. They can get that way. So I think I need a bigger cutting board. But anyway, make sure you don't cut your finger. I ain't gonna guarantee I'm not, but yeah. So that anyway, that's why I take mine when it's younger, when it's smaller, because they turns out really good, and you can actually eat the stem, and the stem's really good. And this is all awesome because you're actually growing this out in your own garden, and you know what went into it. You know what fertilizer went into it. The only thing you really don't know is where you got seeds. So the only way you can take care of that is if you do your own seeds, which like we're going to do with our beans. We're actually going to keep some beans. We're going to dry them for seeds. But other than that, you know what all went into this. So this is your healthy way of cooking. You don't have to eat all that crap they have at the store and everything it goes through. And ooh, let's ship it over and it'll ripen while it ships, and that's just kind of gross, disgusting. But that's the way it is. That's the way they do it. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish cutting all this up. Once I get all this cut up, then I will be ready to start the next process, which is going to be firing up my water, heating my water up, getting my jars in here, and get ready to start doing, getting ready to start canning. Alright guys, we'll see you in a few. Real quick, got everything cut up. So I've got one sink empty, excuse me, for my jars. One sink's got the cut up jar in it. Goodness. One sink's got the cut up chard in it. And then I've got the pan that's got the rest of the cut up chard in it. Now, didn't think about this, just for people that don't know, chard is similar, somewhat similar to, I compare it to spinach. So it is a leafy green, and here is the chard. So I actually have the rainbow. Some people, there's different names for it and stuff, but so it's like multicolored, so it's white, yellow, and red. But that is what it looks like. Now, this is about the size of leaves I like to take. Some people, and here's my hand, some people may say that that's too small, let it get bigger, but I like to take it at a younger start like that because it just tastes better. And not only that, but like I said, the stem, you can actually cook the stem and eat the stem. If it gets bigger, it becomes stringy. So then you have to actually get rid of the stem. The stem is actually really good. It's got a lot of vitamins and minerals in it. But just to bring that up for that right there. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take another quick break. I take a lot of breaks, especially when I'm not at work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get ready to fire up my water. I'm going to let my water come to a boil. That's going to give me my break time. Bring my water to a boil. I'm going to get my jars in the hot water. So my jars are going to be getting ready, and get my lids and stuff ready, because we're going to get ready to start canning. Alright, so here we go. So we got the water starting to boil. We're just going to freaking wing this, guys, because Cindy's not here to tell me what I got to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull out some of the chard. I'm going to throw it down in my strainer here. It's almost like a big I don't know, salad. Boy, it looks good though. It smells good too. So, like I said, if you don't like spinach, you're probably not going to like Swiss chard. But you know what, guys? Give it a try. It's actually really good. So, I actually got a free pack of seeds from a place that I order off of. It's called Papaw's Seeds. You can look it up online. They sell all different kinds of seeds. And he sends you a free packet of seeds with your order. So the free packet of seeds I got was the Swiss chard. Well, we ended up planting it last year. And last year was the first year we ever had it. Ended up planting it, and told Cindy, I said, well, I'll just give it to the chickens. Chickens will like that. We'll give it to them as a treat. Well, then I talked to my father-in-law. My father-in-law was like, well, no, you guys seriously need to cut that. You guys need to cook it and try it. So we actually went ahead and cut it and cooked it. And as soon as we tried it, it was like, well, sorry, chickens ain't getting it. So it's kind of mean to them. It's kind of mean to the chickens. They didn't get their Swiss chard, but it was just too good to let go. I couldn't let it go. So let's get some more chard and we'll get going here. So I basically strained this Swiss chard 3 times. Like I said, our soil around here, we are actually pretty sandy. I'm having a lot of problems with my cabbage. That could be the problem. I don't know. We're actually pretty sandy. So I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, I strained this like 3 times to get the sand and stuff off of it. So it's actually been rinsed, and re-rinsed. And you want to make sure you get it clean because, you know, obviously it's going straight from here. It's not like tomatoes and stuff like that where you do juicing and all that kind of stuff. It's going straight from here right into the jar and right into the pantry. I don't know how much I'm going to end up getting off of this. We're going to find out. looks like I have plenty of room in here to, oh yeah, I have plenty of room in here to keep going. So I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to strain all this out and do the whole sink at one time, and then we'll do the next one. And what's going to end up happening is this will set, once we get in the jars, it will set in the pressure cooker. And I have the water in the pressure cooker already on, so it will actually keep it going as far as temperature wise. And so it'll actually keep everything warm. It'll keep everything going. And the only thing I may have to do is I may have to add a little bit of water, depending on if I lose any water out of my pressure canner or not. Which is no big deal because I have my container of water over there that I keep. It's already lukewarm water. So it's not like it's going to affect the pressure canner too much. Alright, so that is one, and this kind of gives me an idea of what we're looking at, so we know about how much Swiss Chard one whole row is going to do. Because as of right now, you know, we only did just a little bit of it last year, and so I'm not real sure how much we're actually going to get. So like beans, I can tell you right now, we can do beans. We can do 10 pounds of beans, and I get 14 quart. We get 14 quart plus. We actually get to eat beans that night, which is awesome. But we get 14 quart plus. So doing 10 pounds of beans, and I'm going to start my timer on that at 2 minutes to cook it. We get 14 pound of beans, or yeah, 14 quart of beans, and out of 10 pound. So then we actually get to eat beans. I don't know exactly what we're going to come up with here. Tomatoes, we do the same thing. We know how many tomatoes we need as far as pound wise for our spaghetti sauce. We keep track of that. I keep track of that on my computer. I actually write it down on either Word or Excel or whatever I'm doing, and that way we keep track of it, and we know exactly what we have to do exactly what we need. I even do an Excel sheet on my gardens, and that way I can actually keep track of where I planted everything. Hey, knock it off. Sorry, that was my dogs playing. They was in there romping and playing. But I do an Excel sheet on my gardens. That way I know exactly where I planted everything and how everything turned out. And if it didn't turn out good, then I can always rotate my garden. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this boil. It's got to cook for 2 minutes. And then once it cooks for 2 minutes, we will come back and we will actually get ready to start canning. All right, we'll be back. Okay, so I changed up on what I was doing, which won't surprise my wife. So I could get all the Swiss chard in here, because basically what you're doing is when you're putting it in the boiling water, it cooks down a little bit. So so I was able to get all of it in there all one time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and start getting ready to can, because I've already got this cooked down for at least 2 minutes. And it's not that it's cooking it, it's kind of cooking it down a little bit. So we're going to get ready to start canning. Alright, so what we're going to do is, I got my jars. These are all ready, and believe me, this is hot water. So I'm only going to pull out a couple jars at a time. I'm going to do a couple jars at a time because I don't want them to cool down too much. Alright, so we're going to get ready to take a little scoop. Actually, you know what I might do, because that does come out pretty big. I'm gonna go to my small scooper. This may not be as easy to get down in the jar. I don't remember from last year. So we're going to take it out and we're going to scoop it in. Oops, guess what I forgot? Oh, my wife would be yelling at me. Throw my salt in there. And let me go ahead and add my salt into my second one so I don't forget it. Now remember when I said you don't want to pack this. So we're not going to technically pack it, but what we are going to do, and that jar is freaking hot, guys. So what we are going to do, we're going to kind of poke it down in there. We're not going to technically pack it, but we want to get it poked down in there. We want to make sure we get enough of what we want in there. Take a little bit more out. Alright, so basically what you're putting in there is what you know you're probably going to eat for a meal, okay? And then we will go ahead and we're going to take the juice right out of there, because you know that juice is already got that flavoring. We're going to fill it up to half a head space, or 1 inch head space, and then we're going to debubble. Always make sure you debubble, guys. You always want to do this. You don't want big air pockets left in there that could actually make the food go bad. You always want to debubble. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I finish it up right here, and then I'm going to shut the camera off and finish up. Ooh, hot, all the rest of them. So what I did was I got me some napkins, a little spritz of vinegar. You gotta spritz it. Alright, we'll wipe the outside ring. We're good to go there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lid, place my lid on. Now this is where I have difficulties because of how they say to do this. And for some reason, I usually just end up doing it a little bit too much every time. I usually let my wife do this part. So I'm just going to hand tighten a little bit, not overdo it. And there you go, guys. That's what's going into the cooker. That looks delicious. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to place it down in the cooker. In the canner. And then I will be back. I'm going to finish this up, and then I will show you about finishing up on the canner. Okay, guys, this is where taking it as young as I do comes into play, because the leaves aren't near as big. So when you cook it down, you don't get a lot out of it, but these are going in because I ended up with 4 quart. So I got to make my 7 quart for the bottom rung. So I'm putting 3 quart in of water jars, just so my items, these jars, won't move around. Okay? So irregardless, I make sure there's either 7 or 14 quart in there. Now, Swiss chard is a little bit different than some of your other stuff. So when you cook it, you've seen how much I actually had. But when you cook it down, it shrinks tremendously. I forgot how much it actually shrank. Oh well. So I still love it. I don't care. And I will continue to grow it forever and ever and ever. But, or as long as I live. So I got my 7-quart on the bottom rung. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Vaseline. I'm going to go ahead and get my seal lubed up. And my dogs are going to start acting up again. Get my seal lubed up here. Lube up my lid. And I like putting a good coat on here. I mean, it doesn't hurt. Not going to hurt anything doing this. So that's my dogs playing. Hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, when they start playing, you guys have never been able to hear me. So anyway, I'm going to line everything up. So on the All-American, it's got an area right here with an arrow. Line it up. And I'm going to get these started. Now what you want to do is once you get these started and you get all these up on here, you want to look at your gap and see, and look at your gap all the way around. So I can tell I'm lower on this side. So while I've got my knobs loose, I'm going to crank it down. And you want to have an even gap all the way around on your canner. If you're lower on one side than you are the other, just loosen it up, tighten it down, and it will actually move for you. Alright, so we're looking pretty good. Excuse me. Looking pretty good. So what we're going to do, we're going to tighten it down. And remember, whoever tightens these down should be the one taking them off. Because obviously my wife's not going to be able to take them off as tight as I put them on. But you don't have to like kill it. I do like to make sure they're tight. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bump our heat up. I have this heat shut off. We're going to bump this heat up to start building up pressure. So once that actually starts coming up, and pressure is actually going to build inside, but what we're going to look for right now is steam coming out of this area right here where the steam chute is. So once you have a good steady flow of steam coming out, and you'll be able to see it, it'll be white steam, then you start your timer at 10 minutes. Let it run for 10 minutes to actually pressurize and get the air and everything going out of the canner. And then once you hit 10 minutes, then you put your cap on it, you put your wiggler on it, and then once you put the wiggler on it, it comes up the temperature. The first time it wiggles, you set your time for an hour and a half. I'm doing these for 90 minutes, so it'll be an hour and a half. If you had 40 minutes or whatever. And then once you do that, you set your timer, and then you have to watch your temperature and adjust your temperature to keep that from jiggling the whole time that you're doing this. They say you only want it to jiggle once, maybe twice per minute. Okay, just use a little bit of sense on this and say, okay, you don't want to jiggle them the whole time. If it jiggles 3 times per minute, it ain't going to kill anything. It's fine. It's up to pressure. It's just relieving pressure is all it's doing. So everything should be good. Alright, so I'm going to clean up my mess. Good thing my wife ain't here right now. I'm going to clean my mess up while I'm waiting on this to get up there, and then I'll show you what we do after that. Okay, so if you look right up here, You can actually see our steam starting to come out. It's starting to come out a little bit more and a little bit more steady. That way it's actually releasing everything and getting ready to pressurize. It takes a little bit longer when you only have 7 in there instead of 14. Because it's got more area it's got to do. And once this is consistent steam, and actually that's not looking too bad right now. It's still actually kind of a little bit intermittent, but I see the pressure is actually starting to build on the gauge just a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and drop our wiggler on there. So what I do is, after I make a mess, make all kinds of noise, and racket, because everything's tangled up back here. Oh my God. This is pathetic. Alright, so what I usually do is I grab a pair of tongs that you use for hot dogs and stuff. You don't want to put your hands over top of steam because it will burn you. Make sure I'm on my 10 pound. Set that down on there like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to wait for that to get up to 10 pound and start wiggling. Once it starts wiggling, we're going to watch our temperature and we're going to set our time for 1 hour 30. We got our time set on the timer. And then once that starts, excuse me, take that back. Avoid that. What we're going to do is we're going to set our timer on 10 minutes. My bad. So we're going to start our timer on 10 minutes. We want 10 minutes of steam. Scratch what I said. A little tired. We want 10 minutes of steam. So we're going to let that steam off for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, then we're going to come in and we're going to put our wiggler on there. And we're going to let that run until it starts wiggling. When it starts wiggling, then I got to watch my heat. I got to adjust my heat to slow my wiggler down. That way it's not wiggling all the time. And then it's going to run for 1 hour and 30 minutes. All right, sorry about that. We'll be right back. All right, our timer's up and we have a steady flow of steam. So we are going to set our wiggler on. Now, we let it run for 10 minutes. We set our wiggler on. Now we're going to let it build pressure. And then we start working from there as far as the knob goes to adjust everything. We'll be right back. Gotta take dogs out. Okay, so this is where your wiggler starts working. I'm up to 10 pounds of pressure. And it's doing this little wiggle job. Now this is where I have to adjust the heat to try to keep it at, they say 1 to 2 times per minute. You're not going to kill it if you do 3 times, whatever. We've done a lot of canning. But I will adjust it down just a little bit. So I started out on high and I named it down on medium. But here's the thing is the longer you cook, the hotter it'll get, the higher the pressure will go. So eventually you will have to come out and adjust it a little bit more again to keep that wiggler down. The main thing is you want to maintain pressure. That's the main thing is you want to maintain pressure for the cooking. So as long as that wiggler is working, you're maintaining pressure. All right, and then we will come back after, it will be about 1 hour and 28 minutes. We'll come back and get it finished up. All right, a little tired after the day, so I forgot to record taking them out of there. But so that's what I got. Got 4 really nice jars of Swiss chard. Was hoping to get a hell of a lot more, but didn't. The 3 waters, I'll just open them and dump them. No big deal. But all 4 jars Swiss chard. All right, everybody. Happy canning and happy gardening. And once again, God bless the United States. You don't have to technically like and subscribe, but if you just like it, that'd be awesome. All right, thank you. Have a good night.